Part of my research work has been involved in understanding how existing antibiotics work and contributing towards the development of new antibiotics. So, quite by chance, given my mother's story, I've ended up contributing to the future development of these important drugs. My mother was actually born in Weston-super-Mare in Somerset, and her father was a rather successful bookie, in fact, so he took bets off people. I mean, so successful they had a Rolls-Royce, which was quite something in the 1920s. And she was the third of 5 children, 4 of whom were born in Weston-super-Mare, and the 5th was actually born in Switzerland. But in 1930, at the age of 3, my mum left the UK and went to Switzerland in order that my grandfather could avoid paying tax. I hasten to add that he did actually pay his tax later on, but he took his young family, lock, stock and barrel, to Montreux in Switzerland, where my mother spent a very happy childhood. She ended up working for the American embassy in Bern during the war. So, for example, in 1945 she would have been 18, and that was when she had a serious bacterial infection. I've patched together the story from talking to my mum over the years, and it seems she had a very bad cold or flu that was neglected, and it turned into a bacterial infection, and she was bedbound and became so ill she was admitted to hospital. The original site of the infection was in fact her hip, but during the course of the infection the bolus of bacteria actually moved to her jugular vein in her neck, and the hospital had to perform radical surgery, which was actually removal of that vein, and she ended up being in hospital for many months. What really saved her life was, of course, penicillin, which at that time was a relatively new phenomenon. And we think because she worked for the American embassy, they were able to get penicillin for her quite readily, and it saved her life. She spent several months in hospital. We have a letter from the hospital which describes her stay there, including having to have traction to adjust her leg because she had serious damage to her hip, but she emerged from it safe and well, and returned to the UK shortly after, had 3 children and now 5 grandchildren, and is still alive today, albeit in a care home, at the age of 89. So it's very much a case of, without antibiotics, she would have died. With the penicillin, she survived and was able to have a full and fruitful life.